Good evening, everyone. It is Friday, November the 11th, and I'm here to give you a bit of an update for my stitching today. I have had a bit of catching up to do, getting home from a trip. I got my laundry finished yesterday. I paid some bills today that had come in while we were gone. I got a wonderful surprise in the mail. I have been gifted an Advent box, and I'm excited about that. The Colorado Stitcher, I think, is the name that it came from. My husband's gifting that to me, and so the box arrived. It was in bad shape. It had been batted around quite a bit and actually had some holes knocked in it. But the stuff inside is all wrapped up nice and pretty, and it doesn't look like it's been disturbed. So I have it over on my table, and I'll be doing that in the month of December. So I'm excited. Very excited. Wanted to share that with you. When I got back from New York, I felt a bit disjointed. I had set up several goals for the month of November. I wanted to do the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. I wanted to do the monthly magazine acrostic. And then I wanted to do my animal adventures, which I'm doing every month. But I wanted to add another month-long challenge. And it was an acrostic, and it's called Be Thankful. And that one had a little more rules to it. You had to pick a piece that either had the letter in a word in the title, in the name of the designer, or it has to be an object in the name of the object in the piece. So it was a little less wiggle room to get things done. So I had a little bit of a challenge, but I met it. So I'll tell you about that. But when I got home and I started looking at what do I need to work on to meet my challenges and all my acrostics, I felt a little bit at loose ends. So I got out my trusty ledger and I wrote down the column here, Be Thankful, my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic here, which is Offer Gratitude, and then my magazine monthly challenge, which is Gift. Thank you, Carolyn, for the short one this month. And so by each of the letters, I put down what whip I thought would meet it. And then I put the whips across here like I usually do, so that if a whip I can meet more than one thing, I just check it in the column by each one of those things. So I know this one met 3 challenges to do that one whip. Well, there are several in here that meet 2, but only one that met 3. And so I thought, well, that's okay. But then today, as I was looking at it again, I discovered one more that could meet 3, and that was my joyful scene, and it was Teresa Kogut's joyful scene. So I pulled it out because this is one I took with me to work on, and I didn't get to work on it. So it was right here next to me in my travel bag, and I thought, this is perfect. I had wanted to work on it, didn't get to, and now I can. So I'll remind you what it looks like. This was a pattern that I won on Michelle's Farm Girls channel a while back, probably a year or 2 ago. And I just finally got it started in my July of this year when I did my 22 new starts. I had stitched in my July start these little penny quilt pennies. That's what that looks like, a little rug at the top. And then I did the Santa's hat and face. And then the last time I worked on it, I got his beard completed. So this time I needed 300 stitches, so I just kept going across the top, and I did the 2 snowflakes and this house, and that gave me 323 stitches. So here it is. It's making progress. I figured I would just go on across the top work my way all the way across to here. This is the house I did today. And then I can go back over here and do the Santa and work my way across and down because this big tree goes all the way up. And I'd rather do it from the bottom up, not the other way around. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll go across to here, probably do these two my next time, and then I'll start working on the, you know, the Santa. So there we are. We have it. I'm excited about how this is looking. I think it's going to look great on this fabric, and I'm looking forward to getting some more work on it soon. Anyway, I'm going to stop now and go and fix myself a little bite to eat and make sure Coco eats supper. She doesn't like to eat if we're not sitting there with her, so I need to do that. I hope to have some good stitching to share with you a little bit tomorrow. I don't know if I will or not, but if I do, I'll share it with you. My son is coming to spend the day with me, and we are planning to cook together. I have a new air fryer, and I want him to help me learn how to use it because he's had one before. And I'm thinking of doing, I have some chicken strips with panko breading that we got at Costco, and I would like to try them out and see how they do. And but my son makes a fabulous dish of roasted vegetables, and he puts all sorts of root vegetables and peppers, salad peppers, and I remember he used fresh thyme, and I don't have any of that, so I'll get some of that in the morning. But he's going to help me to roast the vegetables, and they're going to go with our little chicken. So we'll have a really good vegetable, and we're going to try out that air fryer. So I think we'll have a good time tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. But I think he may stay overnight and hang out with us for the day and part of the next day. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with him. Haven't seen him very much because we've been traveling, and he's been working. So I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, I hope you have been having a great month so far, and I hope you're getting a lot of stitching time. Happy stitching. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, November the 12th. I had to think a minute. I wanted to come on early this morning and let you know that I was able to get a little bit of more stitching done last night, but it was fairly late when I stopped stitching and I wanted to get on to bed. So I wanted to share it with you today before my day got crazy. I pulled out my 13th colony, my 3-part piece that I'm going to stitch as one, and I wanted to put in at least 300 stitches in it for my prompt, and I am very happy to report that I did that. I actually did 388 stitches. So let me show you what that looks like. Getting there. I came over and did those little houses right here under the tree. Did both houses, and you can't see it very well, but maybe you can there. There's little fences, and I went over here and did fence and part of her house just to run that thread off my needle. And then I outlined the hill that will now be filled in. That's just fill-in stitching. So I'll save that for when I'm on the phone with someone or doing a Zoom call or something. So I've got that ready to go. But those two houses and the fences and the fill-in, or the outline there, was 388 stitches. So I regretfully put it away. I really wanted to sit here and fill in the rest of that heel because it would be such easy stitching. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna save it. But I'm really loving how that looks. I think it looks great on this fabric. Marissa, thank you again for the gift of this fabric. So now I'm gonna put this away. I have about an hour or so before my son gets here. We're gonna spend the day together. And so I'm gonna try to get a little bit of stitching in before he arrives. And if I get anything accomplished, I'll share it with you. Hope you're having a great Saturday. This is normally my day for the stitching meetup at the library, but we haven't seen our son in 2 or 3 weeks because of our traveling schedule and his work schedule. And when he said he could come spend the day today, would we be home? I couldn't say no. I just couldn't. So my friend Donna is handling the stitching meetup today. She's greeting everybody and getting everybody situated, and working with the library to turn in the list of people that come, because they like to count, how many people show up. It helps them with their numbers of classes that they offer. So she's going to take care of that for me today. And Donna, thank you again for doing that. So I will get busy stitching, and if I have anything else to share with you later, I will. Happy stitching, everybody. Welcome back, everyone. It is a little bit later on Saturday, and I have had a little bit of time to stitch today. I got busy and did a little stitching this morning, waiting on my son to come visit. And we had a wonderful lunch together and spent the morning. He taught us a new card game, and we've had a good time playing that this afternoon. But right now, he is working on obtaining his recertification. He has to get CEUs that he has to earn by taking courses online. And so since it's quiet and my husband's napping, he asked if he could just jump on the computer real quick and knock out a few of those CEUs that he's working on. He's got to finish them hopefully by the end of the month. So while he's doing that, I decided to come back up and stitch a little bit longer. And I'm tickled that I got to do that because I hit a prompt. I never expected to get to do that today. So what a treat. But I decided to work on The Small Gift by Mary Englebright. I haven't touched this in a long time. And I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it was in 2 acrostics. It was in the Magazine Monthly acrostic and in 24 Hours Across Stitch. Neither of which has a set number of stitches. So today, I thought, well, I've got to get at least 200. That's what I like to do to make it worth my while to pull everything out and start working on it. Then when I saw her, I had originally stitched her hat. I had her hat with this little holly piece here, and I had the little black of her hair, and that's as far as I had gotten. So today when I started working on it, I thought, I want to get her face done. And I want to do the collar because there are 4 white stitches in her face. And then you have this white collar. So when I got to do the white in her face, I dropped down and I did the white of the collar. There's also 2 different colors of light blue in the collar, but I got those done too. So it totaled 313 stitches today, but she has a face. Isn't she precious? I think she's adorable. So now, I even backstitched it today. Yeah, and I counted that 2 for 1. So I did count it, but it wasn't, decided to go ahead and do the backstitching as I go. So there you have it. That's what I got done this morning and again a little bit this afternoon. So I'm going to put this away and count it a very productive day. Didn't even realize I'd get some stitching to do. So if my son does a good deal of studying today, trying to knock out those CEUs, I may get a little more stitching in. I hope you're having a great restful Saturday. We have a very busy day tomorrow. We have our church and Sunday obligations that we normally do, but we've been invited out for lunch by a couple from church. And then we have a deacon's meeting and a concert to go to. I'm not sure I'll make it to both. My husband and I are going to go to the deacon's meeting in 2 different cars. And if it starts running long, he's going to go ahead and go to the concert because he was invited by one of his friends. And I think it would be very important for him to get to go, even if I don't. And so that's what we're going to do. So I got my Q-snap ready for my next project. And I'm going to be putting this stiff Ada. It is stiff. Can you hear it? It's like a drum. It's one of those stiff pieces. But it was in my stash, so I'm just using it. and I will put her away for a little bit and see what I want to work on next. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're having a great deal of stitching today. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina, and it is Sunday, the 13th of November, and I'm here to give you an update. Well, we had a great visit with our son. He actually wound up staying overnight. Saturday night, he finished all of his CEUs for his certification renewal and submitted those. And so it was late. He just spent the night and headed back to his house this morning. So I got busy this morning getting ready for the day and discovered my husband woke up not feeling well. He had thought he was kind of coming down with a cold yesterday, and throughout the day he said, yeah, I'm definitely getting a cold. I can really feel it. But when he woke up this morning, he said, you know what? I better make sure I'm okay, because he's supposed to work as a film extra, a background actor, on Monday. And he said it's in Atlanta, and he has to COVID test when he gets there. So he just wanted to make sure, that he was going to be okay. So he took an at-home COVID test this morning, and it was positive. So he looked at it, and it was expired. It had expired in October. So he said, well, that may be a false negative, a false positive. I'm not sure what happens when this thing expires. So he had a second test here at the house, and he took it, and it was positive. So I said, I think we better take you to the med stop. You might need some medication. So I took him to the med stop, and he didn't feel that he had COVID. He didn't feel like he had the same symptoms I did. It was very different for him. And he just really felt like he had a cold. So he went in the med stop. He told him his, symptoms, and told him that he had taken the expired test and it had come back positive. And the doctor said, I hate to tell you, but they're pretty accurate, and it's probably going to be positive. And my husband had had strep throat 3 times in the last year, and he said, could you just check that and make sure I don't have that again? He has both. He has strep throat and COVID. So now we're on quarantine. He's quarantining completely. He's in the guest room, in the guest bath, and I've spent the day lysoling everything and washing all the linens and whole 9 yards. I texted my son and said, I hope you don't get sick. Told him about his dad. I feel so sorry for him. I'm just grateful that he had no symptoms and was not sick. In fact, he had a COVID test for a fitting for this filming that he's doing on Monday. He had a COVID test just this past Friday, and he was fine. So it was Thursday. He tested Thursday, had his fitting Friday. And since his test on Thursday, which was negative, he's come down with strep and throat and COVID. So y'all send good wishes his way for a speedy recovery, and pray for me. I have to take care of everything, including him, but we'll be okay. So today, neither of us got to go to church because we're isolating, and I cooked us a chicken pot pie, just whatever I had in the fridge, I made it into a meal, and then we were here all day. So I stitched. I stitched a lot. My husband went to bed. I went to Walmart for him and got his medication, and then put him to bed. So he's resting, and I was stitching. Wanted to stay quiet and let him sleep. But that means I got a lot done. So I'll show you the first object I worked on for a prompt, of course. I worked on my Hawk Run Hollow, and I had to get I had to get 300 stitches, and I got 338. So that was great. And I finished the whole bottom across here and then did one whole section of the center flower. This is a block that has big, tall flowers on either side and one big flower in the middle. And I got 338 stitches on that this morning. Then I pulled out another prompt, and I decided I would work on this for my animal adventures. I had to do some stitches for that, and I decided I wanted to do as many as possible. So I went ahead and put 500 and something stitches in it, 504 for my animal adventures. The 500 is the top tier, and so I did the 500. And then I wanted to do my acrostic Be Thankful that's in Daily 30, Carrie Pickering's group. And so I went ahead and stitched on it some more. And I got another 340 stitches because I had to get 300 for that prompt. So all total today, I put 844 stitches in this beautiful thing. And I have finished the tree portion of the first tree. Now there's you know, two birds here, and they've got a beautiful greenery that they're going to be putting on the tree that's kind of hanging down both sides, but I haven't gotten that part done yet. But once I get those two little birds and the greenery hanging off the side, I'll have that tree completely finished. So I looked today, and this is one of the colors in the tree, and that's all I have left. So I went on and ordered another skein of that because I'm afraid I'm going to need it before I finish this piece. But isn't that beautiful? I think it's pretty. So great day of stitching. Actually 3 prompts, because Hawk Run hit one in my acrostic for my Be Thankful, the H in Thankful. And then my Christmas sentiments, in addition to my animal adventures, I used it for that same acrostic. And it was for the L in Thankful. And the L was for love, because love is one of the sentiments in the piece. You can see it, it's even spelled out in red. And so that's how that one met that criteria. So that was a great stitching day. Wow. So now, tomorrow, I have to take Coco for her vaccination. She's due for one of her vaccines. And then I have to see how my husband's feeling, see how he's doing. So, hopefully it'll go well. That's all I have on my calendar for tomorrow. So, if he's resting well, I may get another good stitching day tomorrow. Who knows? But I just had to come share it with you. And I hope I had a quiet and restful weekend. Our son decided it's starting to get a little bit cooler now. So he tried on a couple of his wintry type, clothing for cooler weather. He hasn't had a real winter yet since he's lost so much weight. So he had a coat that he had purchased years ago, only wore it about 1 year. He outgrew it very quickly, and he's lost enough that he's back in it beautifully. And so I asked him to let me snap a picture of him as he was getting ready to leave today. And he put the coat on for me and let me grab it. So I'll put a picture of him in here. And you haven't seen him in a while anyway, so you'll be pleased, I think, to see how he looks. Anyway, I'll share that with you, and I'll tell you good night. And I'll go take Coco to bed. Have a great, great week next week. But happy stitching, everybody. Good night. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is Monday, November 14th. and I'm here to give you a little bit of an update on my stitching. I'm very happy to report that the medication is really helping my husband. He has been feeling pretty well, considering. I got up this morning and had to take Coco to the vet for her immunization. She had to get the one that they spray in their nose. I think it's for kennel cough or something. Anyway, she got that today. She gets her full physical with everything in December, but this one expired a month early, so earlier than everything else. So she and I did that real quick, and you know what? She did so well. She just did really well. In fact, my husband drove us there. He couldn't get out of the truck, but she rides better when he drives her in the truck. And so when we got there, I just got out with her and took her in and got her immunization, and he was watching from the truck, watching her, because she normally gets real agitated and wants to just go everywhere and meet everybody, and she gets real antsy normally. So when I went in there with her, she was very calm. She was shaking a little bit because she was nervous. She knows at the vet, you know, they get shots and things like that. But she was very calm. She did really, really well. And they came and got her and gave her little immunization, and we headed right back home. So that's the only time my husband's been able to leave the house until now. He has taken Coco for just a walk in the neighborhood, and I'm happy that he feels well enough to do that. I'm really grateful for that. So this morning it's been quiet here. He's been resting, and I have been stitching. So I pulled out my autumn bell pull, and I am working on the second U right here. And I was trying hard to finish it this month, but that's not going to happen. Hopefully can finish it maybe in December. And then before autumn next year, I should be able to get the other two letters finished. I'm not going to try to finish it this year. It's just too much stitching. It's a Stoney Creek, and you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of stitching. Today, I stitched 379 stitches, and that's how far I got. I got all the stitching on this leaf that you see done because I had stopped right there. So all of this in here is 379 stitches. It is confetti heavy, very confetti heavy. And so I've done several color completions up to this point, and now these are other colors that are kind of on the tip end of that leaf. But I'm thinking that maybe one more stitching session on this in December, if I get a chance to do that. And I think I put it on my whip-go board so that I would. We'll finish up this letter. Of course, I've got the lettering to do over here, but that goes really quickly. And then maybe in January or February, I could attack the next, the letter M, and I'm hoping to have it finished next year in time for autumn, so that I could actually have it fully finished as a bell pull and have it up, and that would be great. So that's the stitching for today so far. It is about, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm gonna take a little breather from stitching and go down and prep for supper, and then I will be back up here maybe after dinner and hopefully hit another prompt. So if I do, I'll come back and share it with you. In the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's later on, the 14th of November, and I had a great time stitching this evening. I was on a stitching meetup with a Zoom call with my friend Donna and Nicole from Buckeye Stitcher. And Julie, we missed you. I hope you're back next week. She's busy moving. Reflections Framing and Needlework is moving. She's got a new location. So I can't wait to hear all about that. But today, this evening while I was stitching, I pulled out, I am a needlesmith. I needed it for my prompt in Be Thankful. It stood for N for needlesmith. And I had to get at least 300 stitches in it. But of course I was stitching away as we were talking and visiting, and so I actually wound up getting 542 stitches in this thing. So that is great. I'm excited about that. And it's an easy stitch. It's a by the bay, and they're always so smooth and easy. So let me show you what I got to work on today. I had one leaf left in this tree, and it was bugging me because I was afraid I'd forget it. So I came back over here and I stitched that. Now that whole top portion is complete. So then I came down here. This is the big block of color I had done the previous time I stitched on it. So I just came over here and did the roof so that this little section here was easy to do because I was stitching on a Zoom call. So I just came up here, did this part first, and then did the line all the way across so I would know I could fill in that color all the way down. And I did that while we were talking on the phone. So there you have it, 542 stitches in I Am a Needlesmith. So that met that prompt. It also did something else. I looked at my acrostic for my magazine monthly challenge and realized that the word gift, that was the acrostic for the month, the only letter I had left was the letter I, and I had originally put in there in my notes that I was going to use the international pandemic for that one and do my pandemic stitching. But since I had just done 542 stitches on I Am a Needlesmith, I decided I would use the I in there, and I changed that in my acrostic. Instead of international pandemic, I put I Am a Needlesmith. So then I was able to put that picture in, count that 542 stitches for that one, and what that allowed me to do is to complete the acrostic for the magazine monthly challenge. So there you have it. I have it posted, and I have completed that one for the month. So, whew, my first acrostic to get finished this month. I'm excited about that. The reason I've been pushing so hard to get these finished is that we are traveling. We are meeting friends again, and we're going to South Carolina this time, and we're going to be gone from Monday to Friday. Coco's going to go back and see Fred. It's a couple of weeks down the road, but I want to get all of my stitching for prompts done before we leave town, because I can only take certain projects with me that travel well, and I want to make sure that I'm not under pressure to get anything else stitched while I'm gone, that I can just take stuff I want to stitch on. So that's my stitching for today. I hope you have a great start to your week. Mine certainly has gotten off to a great start, even though we're having to isolate. I'm getting lots of stitching done, so that's great. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is Thursday, November the 17th, and I'm here to tell you some really good news. I have finished my Whip Go piece for the month. The first one I had already done, so I didn't have to do anything on that one. But the second one was a complicated new start. And it was my Halloween trio. So this is the first of 3 buttons and beads kits that I am putting on one continuous piece of fabric. I'm not doing it on the perforated paper. And so I decided I was going to put these in the particular order that I wanted, so that the buttons were, on the left-hand margin, in the middle, and on the end. And that's how I placed them. Then I pulled this fabric I had been saving, and I thought I could fit them right here. And I think I could have, but I wouldn't have had a very good margin. And I wasn't sure what I want to do with this. So I just turned it this way, because I'll have plenty of room this way. And on my Whip Go board, it was 10 hours. I did 5 yesterday, and I did 5 today. and I have stitched well over 1,000 stitches. So I'm really happy about that as well. It's actually 1,024, I think. But this is how far I got. Let me put this behind it so you can see. There you go. That's a little bit better. Isn't that eerie and shadowy looking? I just think it's going to be great. There are 4 or 5 different colors of gray in there already. And you got little bats flying around up here. So cute. Now this is a buttoned and beads, so there will be beads on here. And I went and looked at my roller frames, and I don't have a rod available to use that's long enough. So I'm having to use my Q-snap on the first one. So I have a new goal. I have to figure out which one of my pieces is on a rod big enough and see how close it is to being finished. Or I'm going to have to wait and do all the beading at the end because I don't want to break any beads with my Q-snaps. So I'll show you again. This is my beginning to the Haunted Mansion. That was the first one. So that means my whip goal for November, they're both done. And if you look over here, my whip go board's up here. I'm going to turn you just slightly, pardon the move. But you'll see I've colored that one blue with my colored pencil because it was green, which is my color to go. It's worked on it. It's been called. And then I have these 2 yellow items here. Yellow means they haven't been called, but I've already done it. So guess what? As soon as the numbers are called for December, my whip go board will be complete and I'll have a blackout. So I am thrilled. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier. So, as you know, I've been trying to work on prompts. This is a big prompt. My whip go board is a big prompt for me. And I got it finished today. So I've counted up. I only have 5 prompts left out of all my 3 big acrostics I was doing this month. I finished the Magazine Monthly one earlier. It was only 4, so that was easier to do. But out of the 24 hours of cross stitch and my daily 30 Be Thankful acrostic, I only have 5 or 6 left to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm hoping that I can knock out those in the next, maybe over the weekend. And because Friday, you know, we'll have a new challenge pop up. So we'll see how that goes. I hope you're having a great time of stitching. I certainly have been, and I'm so thrilled to get my whip go gold mat. You just don't know. That, in essence, finishes my board. So that was a big accomplishment today. Thanks for letting me share it with you. And whatever you're stitching on, enjoy every stitch. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's Dina, and today is Friday, November 18th. And I want to show you what I've been stitching today. I pulled out my Kringles to work on the roof. I started over here and I had been working my way across, and my original goal this year was hopefully to get the roof done. Don't know that I'm going to do that because I wound up having so many whips and working on so many big projects, but I am making some progress. I've got about 1/3 of it done. So today what I did is hard for you to tell, but I took this ecru color and I started it right over here, and I did all the ecru stitching in this whole section. So this is actually complete up to right here. So I'm not just doing a single color all the way across like I had started out, you know, doing to get the top. And originally I had 1 row of the snow that I had not filled in yet. So I corrected that today because I was using that color. But I did 401 stitches today in that roof. and it doesn't look any further done than it did when I started, but it is fully stitched there. So that part that I've done is now complete. Now I can just do maybe another section in the middle next time and another one over here. And I still have the month of December to work on it. So I'll get it as far along as I can, but no promises. Not making any promises this late in the year. I just wanted to share that with you. It actually hit 2 prompts for me. The first prompt was in my Be Thankful acrostic from the Daily 30, which Carrie Pickering is running that group. And then my second prompt that it hit was in 24 Hours of Cross Stitch. The acrostic there is offer gratitude. And the Kringles I used for the T in gratitude, the first T, and I said it was for toy store, a toy store. And so that was my Kringles, the toy store. So I am thrilled to death to have that done. Had to stitch at least 300 stitches to meet the Be Thankful acrostic. And so getting 401 was simply because I wanted to finish that section of that color. And so I just hung in there until I got it done. Well, that is all the news fit to print. We are still isolating through tomorrow. We may actually get to go through a drive-through or something if we want to, but I've been cooking, so it's been fine. And I have my plans, you know, to decorate and then to stitch. So I have 5 more prompts to do for all my acrostics before they're finished. I've done all of them that double dip, you know, that go for more than one now. And so now I have 5 individual ones. Only one of them is 300 stitches. And it's actually a new start. It is a exchange gift that I need for a retreat. And so I'll start it and I have to put 300 stitches in it and then I can put it away. But the Be Thankful acrostic was very specific in the way that you could match your projects. And you had to have the letter either in the title of it or in your designer's name. And I had to have the F for thankful. And so the name of this piece that I'm starting has the word fever in it, spring fever. So I'm using the F for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started, even though I don't have to finish it right away. It may not go in my active whips yet, but it will meet that acrostic. And so I'm going to go ahead and just get it going. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I hope you've had a great week. We are headed into a weekend. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Saturday. It's November the 19th. And I've been busy. I got up this morning and put up my Christmas tree and did some more decorating around the house. I had to go try to find some greenery for my mantle. My greenery last year kind of gave up the ghost and we got rid of it. It was worn out. And so I needed to get some new this year and I forgot about that. So I went looking. I didn't find anything I liked at the store I was at. So I went ahead and found what I wanted on Amazon and ordered it. It'll be here in the morning, or tomorrow sometime. So I'll finish the mantle tomorrow. When I do, I'll take a picture and I'll share it with you. So I spent the day this morning kind of taking care of the house, decorating, laundry, all that kind of stuff, and didn't get to start stitching until late this afternoon. So I looked at the prompts I had left to go, and I decided to do a prompt that would give me a double whammy. I'm doing for this piece for 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, and I'm also doing it for TV Week in Kelly Pickering's group. And the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch is for the letter D. The D represented days, and this is for the Stitcher's 12 Days by Sue Hillis. And then in the TV week, I was to stitch on something that had either a sport or a timepiece in it. And this has a timepiece right there. So I am thrilled that I got to work on this for 2 different prompts. And the numbers that were required in the prompt was either 100 or 200, 200 being the maximum points in the TV week. And as you know, for an acrostic, if I get 200, I'm thrilled. So today I actually got 250 because I wanted to break it off at the end of the line. And so this, I stitched today all this, just the lettering, which was the My True Love Gave to Me, and then 12 pairs of gingers. So that was my 250 stitches, and I did count 2 for 1 because it's back stitching. But I got that done, and so I'm really tickled to have met the 2 prompts today, and I can put this back away for a little while and move on to something else. I'm hoping to get maybe 1 more prompt today if I have time. It's gonna have to be one probably like that I don't have to have a whole lot of stitching in. I don't have time tonight to do my animal adventures. I've got 3 of those left, but I don't have time to do that tonight. It's too late. But I had a great day today. I hope you did. So I'm gonna pack this all away. I'm gonna see if I can get some more stitching done. So in the meantime, though, I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I hope you're healthy and well, and I hope you're stitching. Happy stitching, everybody.
Ready? Here we go. Wait. Ow. Stay over there. Here we go. Keep my toes.
Snoring. She goes to the end that's not protected.
Yeah, pull that one back out now, please. That's my little pig.
Snort, snort. Now, Coco, I was just standing there.
Alright, you got it most? You got most of it? There we go. I have to put the towel over my toes so she doesn't scratch me.
Yeah.
Hey,
Her
there.
claws will
Are you
hurt.
ready to go get on the table? Ready for the table? Let's go get on the table. Come on. Now we'll go outside to the table.
There she goes.